So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at 9 underrated Easter eggs in Call of Duty Zombies. These are Easter eggs which are separate from the main Easter egg quest inside of every map, and these are going to be small little Easter eggs relating to Call of Duty Zombies that are found in the zombie maps that we have so far, as well as a few campaign missions, and you guys will know what I mean when we get into that. Now, at the time of uploading this, it is Easter, so happy Easter to you all. I thought it would be great to bring a Easter egg related video to you all, but this can be watched all year round anyway, so let's get into this in no particular order. Here are 9 underrated cool Easter eggs in Call of Duty Zombies that you may or may not have forgotten about. Now, this first one, we're jumping into Black Ops 2 Zombies with Buried, which was the 3rd Zombies DLC map, which was included in the Vengeance DLC map pack, and for this Easter egg you want to simply hit the mystery box until you get the ballistic knives. You don't want to go all the way to the saloon area and open the bar, and you'll see that there's this white chalk line on the ground. If you want to stand behind that and then aim towards this dartboard in front of you, you need to shoot the ballistic knife to try and get a bullseye shot, almost like a game of darts, trying to get a dart in the bullseye section. If you manage to do this, you'll hear the piano in the bar start to play a tune, but the keys are playing themselves. Now, the piano isn't just playing the keys by itself, there's actually a ghost lady somewhere on the map playing a piano, which is causing that to happen, and you want to go through the main house avoiding all of those ghost ladies until you get into the maze. Then you want to simply make your way back through the house to get back into the normal map, and on your way there you'll notice the ghost lady is playing a tune on the piano. Now, if you go up to the little box on the piano, you'll see it says hold X to tip for 10 points, and if you do this it will give you a random perk. Now, this is very useful as you're only getting a perk for 10 points and this is a random perk, and there's a lot of other ways to get free perks on this map, but I think this is a very underrated Easter egg and a lot of people don't really think about this one when it comes to getting the perks, so try this next time you're playing Buried. It's a fun little Easter egg. Sticking with Black Ops 2, we're now going to go to Mob of the Dead, which was the 2nd Zombies DLC map introduced in the Uprising DLC pack, and this is actually the jump scare. Now, you're probably thinking this isn't a underrated Easter egg, but you got to remember this was the first time a jump scare was added into Black Ops Zombies in general. I remember when my friend Liam for the Winter first found this, not only was he scared out of his skin, but putting this on the internet, a lot of people didn't believe that this was true. But in order to do this, you need to just get a sniper from the mystery box and make your way up to the rooftop where the aeroplane can be built, and you want to look over to the fireworks display in the sky. Aiming down the sight of your sniper scope, you will have this weird face jump out at you. Now, we aren't sure on the identity of the figure you see in the scope, but a lot of people believe this to be Nero Blackstone, one of the characters from Shadows of Evil, the magician. It does bear a resemblance, but I wouldn't put my money on this actually being Nero. It's just a funny coincidence. Now, this was the first time we had a jump scare Easter egg in a Zombies map, and it's kind of followed tradition now with the same team making Origins and Shadows of Evil. Both of those maps do have jump scare Easter eggs in them as well. For this next Easter egg, we're jumping back to the good old days of 2011 when the first DLC pack, First Strike, was released for Call of Duty Black Ops, and here we're going to be doing a pretty underrated Easter egg, and this is blowing up the rocket on Ascension. Now, this doesn't do anything, it's just a very cool thing that they added in for the sake of it, and I'm sure when the map first came out, people experimenting, just shooting at the rocket, hoping that it might blow up, but they weren't exactly expecting the result they got. So to do this, you simply need to get a ray gun. It can't be any other weapon, it has to be a ray gun, non-pack-a-punched of course, because you can't pack-a-punch this before doing so, as the rocket takes off and then the map is open. But you want to launch the rocket by using the 3 lunar landers around the map and flying those with yourself in them over to the spawn room, and then going back to the room with a power switch, pressing the button to activate the rocket launch, and then spraying the ray gun at the rocket and it blows up. I think this is a really cool Easter egg, and it has a really cool looking effect on it, especially for a map made in 2011 as well. So I really like this one, and it's something fun to do if you've always got a ray gun by your side and you're playing Ascension and you're just launching the rocket. Now, for our next Easter egg, we're staying with Black Ops 1, but we're on the main menu here, and you can all guess what we're about to do. We're about to get out of the infamous chair and go over to the terminal and type in 3 specific letters, DOA, which stands for Dead Ops RK. Arcade. The original Dead Ops Arcade is being thrown in here because it originally was an Easter egg, and it always has been an Easter egg where you had to go in the terminal and type that in order to unlock it on your menu to load it up from the zombies menu. But this is where the magic happened. This is the original Dead Ops Arcade, and this is what spurred the incredible Dead Ops Arcade 2 inside of Black Ops 3. Before that was an Easter egg as well, but now that's unlocked for everyone on the main menu. You don't even have to put in any sort of secret code or do anything in the campaign terminal in order to unlock that one. But this is the OG Dead Ops Arcade. It's a little bit flimsy in comparison to the new one. It's always a third person. There was a first person mod on PC, but there was never a pickup to allow you to go in first person, and it definitely wasn't as kind of like in depth as it is nowadays in Dead Ops Arcade 2, but still very, very cool. It goes down in history as one of the coolest zombie Easter eggs to ever exist. Staying with Black Ops 1, we're going to jump to the campaign now, and we're going to go to a campaign mission called Numbers. This starts out where you're interrogating someone by placing glass in their mouth, which is always nice, and then the mission starts with soldiers running at us, and we chuck a few grenades down here, and we can actually blow up some Nova 6 canisters. If we run over quick enough to this cassette player, we can actually interact with it for a few seconds, which causes some zombie sounds and some numbers to start being chanted. Then we can just play the level out as normal until we jump from this epic scene here into slow motion and land in this room here, and our comrades push aside a fridge to show us a secret kind of weapon bunker. And here, if you interact with the tape player once again, we'll have a thunder gun appear out of nowhere, and we can use this for the entire campaign mission if we want to kill the enemies with. And this is a very cool Easter egg as it makes the mission a lot more fun, and having the zombie crossover is so awesome. I know you guys love this one, I love this one as well, and that's why it's an underrated zombies Easter egg. For this next Easter egg, we're going to go quite recent. We're going to Black Ops 3 Zombies with Der Eisendrache. If you go to Samantha's bedroom and look to the side of her bed, there is a small musical box. If you activate, it will actually have the moon version of Samantha floating around in a circle, whilst the lullaby from that map also plays as well. Now this is an underrated Easter egg as this is referencing to a different universe than the one we're playing on. I think that is extremely cool and shouldn't go unmissed because it's a very subtle Easter egg, but the fact that it references this different parallel universe of events that have happened on the moon with the MPD and Samantha, and what happens on Der Eisendrache is literally the polar opposite. The fact that we have this to kind of fill the void almost is pretty cool. The next Easter egg we're going to be talking about is the hidden melee weapon, the Golden Spork, within Mob of the Dead on Black Ops 2 Zombies. This is a hidden melee weapon and is the second most powerful melee weapon in the entirety of zombies behind the upgraded 1-inch punch from Origins, and this can kill a zombie with a single melee attack until round 34. This is a really cool Easter egg as it is unrelated to the main quest line. You do not need this in order to complete the main quest line at all. This is a side quest which is pretty insane. Now some trivia about this is the Golden Spork actually appears in the loading screen for Mob of the Dead, so it was there clear as day for us to see, and before stirring the bathtub in the 4th step, the spoon that you get given from the cafeteria replaces your normal knife and it has slightly less damage than the Galva Knuckles, and once the bathtub is stirred you lose that spoon, and then after completing the step after that you will be given the Golden Spork, which is a fantastic melee weapon. And funnily enough, the first step of this Easter egg is a reference to the 1994 movie The Shawshank Redemption. Highly acclaimed as one of the best films of all time. The next Easter egg is on Black Ops 1 Zombies on the Moon, and this is to activate the second hidden music song. Now, this is not a very obvious one. There's not like little teddy bears you've got to activate. This is a very, very strange one, and when this was first discovered, people were very confused on how this works. So this is related to an achievement called One Giant Leap, which is where you and Moon become trapped in the receiving area and free yourself through resurrection in co-op. To acquire this, 2 of the excavators need to be digging into both Tunnel 11 and Tunnel 6, thus blocking any way to and from the spawn. A player that's aiming for this must then get trapped in the spawn room and then down themselves and bleed out. Once they're dead, the player must wait for the round to end, then respawn in next to their teammates, and when the player has been resurrected, that's when the trophy is unlocked. And what happens once you do this is you actually get the song Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold to be playing in the map. This was the second Avenged Sevenfold song to be in a Zombies map, and this was the first one that wasn't created for the map itself. It was just put in there as part of a really cool music Easter egg. The achievement is also a reference to the late Neil Armstrong's first words when he landed on the moon in 1969. Some of you may think this is a weird Easter egg to put in, but it's a very odd, obscure one which didn't really make a lot of sense, and you had to kill yourself in order to get this Easter egg song to play. But it was a very good song, and of course it was a lot of fun to do. And rounding up to our final Easter egg is going to be one which isn't even in a Call of Duty Zombies map. It's actually in the World at War campaign, and this is in the mission Little Resistance. This was the first time us as players were introduced to zombie specific weapons, where in this you could unlock the ray gun to be used throughout the level, very similar to the thunder gun one which I mentioned earlier, but this is the ultimate zombies Easter egg which is non-related to a quest line in the maps themselves. This was the first time we were introduced to a zombies weapon, and a lot of the people at the time didn't even know this was going to be in another mode because zombies was an Easter egg back then. So this is the first time we were introduced to the ray gun, and boy oh boy was this a cool Easter egg. In order to activate this Easter egg from the beaches, you needed to jump in these small little pools of water on the beach, and if you jumped in each of these three ones correctly, on the final big one that you jumped into, if you stood in front of you and waited for a little bit of time, there'll be some screen shaking, these weird voices will start talking, and then these weird kind of animal statues will rise out of the ground, and each of them will be holding a ray gun. So a maximum of 4 players in a co-op game could each have a ray gun to use. And this was such a cool Easter egg because even to this day I'm not too sure what the weird voices are saying, but at this point in time in 2008 no one knew the kind of craziness that we were going to be expected with Call of Duty Zombies. So this was a fantastic Easter egg and one of my all-time favourites for a underrated Call of Duty Zombies related Easter egg. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments section what is your favourite Easter egg listed in these 9, and if there's any others that I've forgotten that you believe are underrated Call of Duty Zombie Easter eggs which are non-quest related, drop them down below. But if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like rating, and thank you very much for watching.